the Gwen and the Neferi, they elected to go for the Gwen, and Ultra Prime now, for Junhao, he's got that opportunity to take this Neferi out and give it a bit of a spin.
I appreciate them giving a lot of resources that way. I think they need to shore up the rest of the composition as well. I like the Rumble to start off at least, but I really want to see some other pressure points for Ultra Prime, or this Neferi is just going to get single targeted out. I mean, you have a Gwen, you have the Xin Zhao. We saw how potent that was last time. Now you also have the Talia that's going to make Neferi's life hell.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah, it is. So, okay. Okay.
Okay, bro.
Saber.
Let's go. Saber just says, bring it, bros. I'm bringing out the Zed.
This is why we love Fearless, Mazel. Best of one Fearless, baby. This is what we get.
Love to see it. It's not even like he's played it competitively, at least on a stage for Saber. And he's going to bring it out here into the Talia, which is very interesting in and of itself.
So the idea then is I don't have a dash, I have blinks. That's how Zed operates. He doesn't dash around, he blinks around. So the Unraveled Earth doesn't actually affect him when he wants to go from point A to point B. However, what Zed does do is have a very telegraphed landing spot for his ulti, which means that landing seismic shove can be pretty easy. So Karis here has got a that 50-50 toss-up of, do I want to get death marked or do I want to try and go for a seismic shove? Because the second I use my W, I'm incredibly vulnerable. But if I don't use my W, I'm never getting any value out of that spell or my E, and you effectively become a Q-bot. So the Zed pick in isolation here versus the Talia should do pretty well.
Now we actually get the second bans coming through here, at least the second phase. The Leona Varus is the focus for Ultra Prime. It's the Ziggs right now to take away some of that AP focus that we're definitely going to be looking at for Ultra Prime to try to even up the damage profile. The Rel is going to be that final ban.
So we still have Kalista open as well. And AD counter pick actually going for Wako here. If he decides to take something a little bit more spicy. I mean, they've already got Zed locked in. I'm not sure how much more we should really be looking at. But for Ultra Prime, what they already have is a lot of dives. So again, things like Kai'Sa start to scream out at you. And as you're getting locked in here, means that the Kai'Sa... shockingly, it seems like I say it every single game, but the Ezreal getting locked in does open up that Kai'Sa opportunity as well for Wako. Karma getting locked in, though, extra element of laning prowess here with this Ezreal to try and pair up.
And a little addition to the Venn diagram, It's just
another circle.
Another circle. But you got a lot of poke, you got a lot of sustain there, and their team fight's going to be looking pretty damn good if they can space around objectives. Now, we got to see, it's going to be more utilitarian. It's going to be more carry focus on the side of Ultra Prime. It does look like it's going to be the Kai'Sa with the Alistar combo down there, but potentially a kind of poke Kai'Sa build.
I'm looking at Rumble being solo AP and thinking that's fine. I'm looking at the composition for WE and going, none of these guys are building armor, really, right? Like, nobody's going for a Randuin's on this roster, so the fact that we're triple AD doesn't actually impact us that much. But they're just all in, right? Ultra Prime are gonna go forward. If WE can resist that, then great. If not, then they're gonna get overpowered and probably get kind of ran quite quickly. I think that answering Gwen and Xin Zhao, two champions that are so good at making space with champions that quite easily cut that space down, is a very good look for Ultra Prime. However, this composition, on paper, looks like it will do okay versus what WE have drafted. This very high barrier of execution. These are not easy champions to pilot to the max degree of success.
Yeah. I think that kind of brings back the conversations we were having in the last game, as well as like that bar of execution versus scaling conditions and the kind of ease of access or ease of execution rather as well. But in this one, I think we have to put a lot of eyes on Taeyoon to be that kind of carry for WE in a lot of ways, but also just be that consistent piece for them. Monki as well, needing to find consistency on the Xin Zhao. When we just saw what the last Xin Zhao did, I need to see Monki have at least some kind of performance like that along those lines. But then on the other side, we do have the Neferi. We finally get to see this on the day, and it's been a jungler that's been tearing apart the jungle here in the LPL, and I'm very excited to see what this game has in store. One of these two teams going to be going to battle FPX in that best of 3 for qualification to Group Ascent.
And I think as well, when we remember that context, that this is a best of 1 to play in a best of 3 in 20 minutes after you've just finished that, there's a little bit here of animosity.
Maybe more
almost.
than 20 minutes.
Yeah, probably, right? But, they have a pretty tight turnaround on it. And I definitely think that it's something that both of these teams need to have in the back of their minds of, well, actually, yes, they've got tape on FPX because they've just seen them play, but also Vampire here going to be looking for an early chunk onto Wako. We love that. But they're going to get tape on you as well, and they're going to have a little bit more information moving into and being able to prepare for that draft nice and early does give a slight advantage for FPX.
That's where Ultra Prime are just like, how are you going to prepare for a Zed? What's he going to do? What's he going to do? Saber just pulls it out.
The coaches backstage as well, they must be working like, okay, well, if we win, we have to play this, so we have to prep this draft. If we lose, we have to play this team, we have to prep this draft. Maybe they're the same, and maybe that's nice and easy for them. But maybe as well, they're just completely different because they're 5 different players they're playing against.
Yeah, very true. It's going to be a wacky and wonderful night. I just think it's kind of chaotic to, have to prepare for a setup like this where you have to play a best of 1 and do a best of 3 against an opponent that you haven't played against or had to watch probably because you were scrimming all your groups and you were trying to pay attention to your group setup. But that's always the fun of these kinds of differentiations in the format here. But we actually see level 2 fight going the way of WE on bot side here potentially, and keeping a little bit of pressure with the double poke setup. Unfortunately,
Xiaojia may have been brought into this roster to have a little bit of synergy with his jungler. He's still playing level 1 Alistar. He is still a unfortunately useless champion until that level 2 comes through. And they get punished for it as well, it's worth saying, right? Taeyoon already forced the barrier out of Wako, and it wasn't to keep him alive, but it was to keep him from having to burn that health potion and be in a tricky position for the remainder of that laning phase. And even still, you're playing against Ezreal Karma, you're in a tricky position for the lane.
Exactly that. Now I do want to check in on the junglers as we are getting the mirrored side starts, so a little bit of focus for Junhao up towards top side, with Monki focusing on this bot side, on his strong side, at least for the moment, with the push that they have. Twitch predictions, man, a little bit one-sided for Ultra Prime. It must have been the Zed pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice prediction for Ultra Prime, and for Saber as well, clearly the beneficiary of that. Nice little engage for Xiaojia, just reminding himself that he's got Aftershock, as Vampire did take 1 Q to go just a little bit wide.
You just have to remind yourself sometimes that you have your abilities. Oof.
Yeah.
That's going to feel bad.
So, this is self-inflicted from Wako, I will say. He saw all 5 members of WE and decided Kai'Sa was the pick he wanted to play versus Ezreal Karma.
That's very true.
Again, there's only so much that he could have done with Alistar support at level 1, and even if he was playing Caitlyn, this is probably the outcome that comes with it anyway. But you do feel a little bit like this could have been offset by just taking something a little safer. Oh, they're going to bully. Wako's not allowed back.
No, he's got Void Seeker, but yeah, he can't even walk back up to the late. They're proxy bot side.
Just because you see
like, what did I sign on for here? what did I join? What is going on?
Seeing this doesn't make it any easier to get past and to stop. Fortunately, it looks like an early recall from Monki is going to allow Wako at least a second wave underneath his turret, and exhaust coming down already.
Ooh, Cube. Actually trying to get some heavy trades into Xiang.
Oh, Cube needs to kill this, by the way.
Dash. Yeah, it's close. If he steps back up, he's dead.
Cube has already used teleport to get back into this top lane once. Xiang still has TP available, so he can take all the bad trades he wants, and then just TP, recall, TP back in, and theoretically not have lost out on anything. So Cube is extremely pressured to try and find something here, because otherwise Xiang is going to have a really big advantage in that 1 versus 1 where he can go back base and then push another wave and theoretically deny Cube when he's resetting.
All right, we got the culminations of that first pathing from both junglers. We got nothing from it. Just a little bit of a tempo advantage for Junhao, which on the Nefiri you'll take all day. But it is a champion that it scales. It has good scaling. But I love to see it more proactive than anything. And we are getting a little bit of map movement from Ultra Prime to swap lanes.
So pulling the Kaiser up, and this maybe gets Xiong out of the bot lane, but I think more importantly gets Wako out of that bot lane. Keeps him away from the Ezreal Karma that have been bullying him out, and it looks like the TP from Xiong actually fed into WE. That actually, they're looking for this swap, right? If Rumble's TPing bot lane, who's going top lane? Well, probably the Kaiser, who's been having a miserable time of things down in that bot side. So just sort of trading wave states, and it probably sucks a little bit for Xiong that he had to go down here and now has to walk all the way up if they want to contest these grubs. But he has dinged level 6, so would like to think that they're probably going to come out on top on a fight, if there was to be one.
Yeah, there's no movement coming out from Cube, so it looks like WE will be okay giving this first spawn of grubs. So I will say it doesn't typically work out for teams if they give the next set of grubs. So something that WE need to absolutely plan for ahead of time. Dragon has still been up on the other side of the map. Oh, does Junhao? He does still have the last smite here.
Well.
Oh, yeah. He's not going to use it on his way out. Just didn't want to wait for it. Didn't want to give over a kill. And there will be a 2-to-1 grub split at least.
So again, no notch on either feat. So far, nobody has made any progress towards that. We are 0-0 in kills. We have neither side being able to take a meaningful objective by way of those grubs. And I do think that the game so far going quite favorably.
Oh my god. Marked for death. He might get him. The flash kill. It's not enough. Saber not able to do the calculations. And that will be the reset from Karis. He doesn't have TP though.
Final Shuriken went wide there. Actually, Saber could have found a kill had he have landed that, but he's playing it with Fog of War, so it's quite tricky. Monki can come in and hold this wave, then keeps Karis quite happy about how that fight has gone down. But by Monki sharing, it actually gives an opportunity now for Junhao to start up that dragon. And Neferi going to make her way through the bot side and now start to take down a second neutral objective.
It's the kind of stuff you love to see in terms of decision making for Ultra Prime. Just trying to get things on the back end of plays, but we still have this lane swap that was active in the top side. It's not getting any easier for Wako as it's 80-44 in the CS differential at 8 minutes into the game, by the way.
And my guy bought a cull, by the way. Like, he is not bothered at all about trying to fight this Ezreal and Karma. And I was going to say that there's a timer on this Ezreal Karma bot lane, especially versus Kaiser Alistair. The fact that you took cull and the fact that you're sort of using barrier for poke means that timer gets extended quite significantly. At some point, the Kaiser Alistair can just all in and try to take down the Ezreal Karma, but we are unfortunately not at that time just yet. And like I say, the Ezreal is going to have plenty of time to be more powerful and more strong, and it actually looks like Wako is pivoting back to one of the old school builds. I say old school like it's not, 2 patches ago, but that hybrid Kaiser that, as you theorized, Mazel, might pivot more into poke later on.
Yeah, I mean, just try, I guess, provide, like, if you are just a close range, like, on hit, you're just going to die. You're so far behind. It's going to be so difficult. But I guess looking at this now, like, Ultra Prime, I still feel like need to find advantages between Junhao and Saber to really feel confident moving forward, because we talked about it from draft, like, WE's team fight around objectives feels really damn good. Yeah,
and I mean, they're already, 1k gold up. It's majority out of that bot lane. But they've got so much zone control with Xin Zhao plus Gwen, and then the Unraveled Earth that goes down as well. Extra circle in Mantra Qs if they're going to come down from Vampire as well. So, okay, nice little pull back there onto Junhao. But it's definitely something to be fearful of.
Ooh, Xiong going to get poked heavily on the True Shot Barrage combo with Vampire and Taeyoon. Oh, back on bot side though, Ultra Prime surrounding Cube. Monki is right around the corner. Looks like that will dissuade Ultra Prime from going for the gank. Junhao will stick around for a little bit, but they're losing plates on top side to WE. Yeah,
it's a little bit tense here in this game almost. Now Vampire heals to burn, maybe flash from Xiong? Didn't get anything. Okay, so Summoner Spell burned there by WE to try and get something that they end up failing on. Ultra Prime so far playing for the neutral objectives. WE playing more for that gold. And again, we highlighted this at the start of the game rather. But Taeyoon has been the best part of WE. And in this matchup so far, making sure that he's getting all the resources and should be that carry once again.
Gonna try to be. At least the building blocks are definitely there. We're getting closer and closer to first item spikes, though. Do you feel like that changes any of the tempo of the game, especially now that we have grubs back on the table?
Yeah, I think that if we get... I mean, Ezreal's going to get hit 24 so early on, and if it's not matched by the solo laners that need to kill the Ezreal, then that's a real problem for Ultra Prime.
Dude, he's at over 10 CS a minute. This guy's just working it. Oh, what? He's got the flank. He's just sitting in the bushes like Silent Snake here. He's going to come out, realize he's got a 3-level difference. I think Cube just tries to kill Wako here, baby, as he wants to try to get him, but that's the CC chain from hell, and Junhao will get first blood at 11 minutes for Ultra Prime. Meanwhile, they did end up giving the grubs on the other side.
So that's a kill for Junhao. It delays Cube a little bit as well. I like that he just sort of sat and accepted his fate here, didn't use the exhaust to try to get out to safety. But delaying the Gwen is certainly powerful. Unfortunately, it comes at the cost of keeping Taeyoon still more than easily able to farm on up. That's the third plate that he secured in the top lane. Already 2 gone down on that bot side,
man.
and now it's 4 grubs as well. You can imagine that they're going to go for a few more.
I just feel like it's so hard to deal with this combo, the double poke coming through. We will end up seeing Karis on the transition here. We'll get the back reset out from WE's bot lane. See where they decide to go. We do have everybody backing pretty much from WE, so they could re-swap the lanes now that they've done lasting damage to both the side lanes. It looks like it definitely is WE redeploying out towards mid.
And I think that now Wako has that Trinity, the static shift picked up as well. You feel a little bit more confident, just sat in clearing waves and, you know, hits the wave 3 times, fires a Q, the wave's pretty much gone anyway. So that CS discrepancy, not expecting to creep up too much more. I say that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dude, this is like peak solo queue experience.
And this is exactly what I want from an Ezreal Karma lane, is this Kai'Sa has been bullied.
Equalizer. The Vampire didn't realize he was fully surrounded, and Wako goes back in out of nothing. They make diamonds, but now Cube trying to separate the rest of the fight. Monki getting on the other side of them with that flash. Xiong gets out with his own flash. Needlework not going to be enough to get anybody here. Taeyoon does not have the damage just yet. Junhao goes untargetable, gets out of the last needlework. Taeyoon finally kills Xiaoxia, and WE, they fight back in this middle skirmish.
Okay, and using this Ezreal now to just really push the advantage, it feels like. Vampire gets caught early on, and in a 4 versus 3 that ensues afterwards, the Ezreal is pushing people back. Wako can never really get in there, use the killer instinct to take out Vampire.
Oh my god, he's gonna die. He has true shot. He could get it. He could look for it. He waiting, maybe. Go for it. Taeyoon, the snipe. Oh, okay, Wako knew. He knew.
He knew. He was waiting for it. He was ready. He also had flash up and ready, so would like to think that he can flash it when he sees it. Had it have been better angled, but probably means that they're going to get another plate in this mid lane here. Remember, 4 grubs is going to be enough to take down at least something. And Vampire's, again, doing a very good job at just poking out and bullying under this turret. The score may read 0-1. I think Vampire's had a very good game so far.
Dude, the fact of the matter is that they are able to use this pressure around the map so well. They're now getting a dragon to even that up, so no more stacking for Ultra Prime. And we've said all along, their composition together is very strong. We take a look at Junhao. Again, a lot of Splinter Cell plays for Ultra Prime, and we see how Vampire got surrounded.
Yeah, and he gets knocked up, gets targeted by the Equalizer as well, and as an Enchantress, there's only so much that you could do. Monki with a well-timed Crescent Guard there actually keeps Junhao out, and then he's just dancing around them, baiting them into Taeyoon, who's, again, trying to get the max DPS out that he can, forcing barrier from Wako for the 3rd time already this game, and going invulnerable to dodge out on that 3rd needlework is great play from Junhao as well.
Nice little mechanics throughout. Sunder Sky did just get completed for Monki, so it can be a little bit of an uptick in aggressive pressure that he wants to provide on this inside. Oh my god, that damage. Young, showing why Rumble's still potent.
Exactly, man. Like, the answer to the Gwen has been the Rumble for a couple of couple of weeks now, and the LPL disc split has been showing us why I would feel like Xiong has had a pretty decent run of things in this game. He's up 10 TS, up 100 gold. It's not lots of numbers, but it's in an answer to what is a very powerful pick in the meta right now, right? Like Cube.
Not again. Not again. Vampire's like, where these damn dogs keep coming from, man? Like, I'm just walking around as Junhao now forced to get out, as he will be TP'd on by Karis, though they should be able to chase him down. Xiong trying to save him now. Weaver's wall coming across to block off their exit, but they are trying to take the fight onto the northern side, and Junhao will get out.
Alright, so again, lots of pretty colours, but nobody dies. My favourite kind of fight where there's a lot of ultis burned and nothing actually happens. This is free time for Saber on that top side, I will say. The Zed, who's been honestly quite muted so far this game, is slowly working his way up to that second item, slowly going to be an incredible threat. And I will say as well, Zed, one of these champions that when piloted well, scales exceptionally well. You get so many shadows, so many shurikens from playing the champion as intended and getting the max value out of E resets for your shadow and making sure that you can dart about. I'm expecting to see these, really high-end good things from Saber because Zed has an incredibly intensive mechanical kit.
Oh, we get the all-in on Taeyoon. I was just about to talk about him. They can't take him down now. The shielding from Vampire is there. Taeyoon makes it out alive, still has his barrier, still has True Shot Barrage. Okay, no longer has True Shot Barrage, but Ultra Prime will use that pressure sink to go to the Rift Herald.
Yeah, and I mean, they've expended TP as well from Xiong, thinking that that fight may have been a little better or a little more than it ended up being. As soon as Taeyoon hops in there, kind of baiting himself, and he knows that he's going to have to flash at some stage. But again, this is cross-map time, and it's Cube that's going to get a turret in the top side of the map. A little bit of alone time in the mid lane as well for Taeyoon to push in a wave, get a recall also. And for Ultra Prime here, they find a brief advantage. They find themselves that first neutral objective for them, or the second rather, with the Drake already having gone down. And now Saber, no W on Karis.
All right, he's going with the all-in. Marked for death. Is it going to be enough? One more auto, and he gets a pop like a balloon. And he walks away with like a cool guy. Yeah,
Karis used W in the face of a Zed. You cannot do that in this matchup, right? It just gives you, as the Zed, the free opening to hop on in and find a 1v1. And that's exactly what happens. It's through the Seraphs, it's through the Flash. And that little bit of extra damage that the Ignite is packing for Saber proves to be enough. He's now opted into the Serpent's Fang as well, so things like Karma are going to be less impactful. The shields coming through from any Eclipse is getting picked up as well. The Seraph's weaker also. And this is through bone plating as well.
Yeah, that just feels bad. It's just a misplay from Karis, unfortunately there. And followed up on as well from good mechanics. And we get to see out of Saber. There's a reason why they felt confident to pick it. Must have been practicing on it very heftily, but love to see them willing to do this in a very pivotal match. Like, this might be a best one. You may think, oh, best ones don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. This one matters, though.
Putting yourselves in the upper bracket gives you 2 attempts at a best of 3 to get into the Ascend group, whereas losing this, there are 2 opportunities for you to lose and be in Nirvana.
You do not want to be in Nirvana, like we said. It is the Group Ascend. Even if you're getting trashed in Group Ascend, you at least are safe for being knocked out of Split 3 in totality. Now, Dragon coming up. This would be second Dragon for both sides. CWE already point and present here, trying to clear out some of these wards. You did miss the one there, so some vision still there for Ultra Prime.
Maybe they can look to use that as like an anchoring point to make their way in, but already scouting out with these Void Seekers. The Herald do very minimal amounts of work here, but now Ultra Prime, they fancy this. WE started up the Drake wall to attempt to split.
Okay, True Shot Barrage is used. Equalizer, really nicely done at the exit of the pit. The Dragon secured by Monki, though, so W will go up in that fashion. Although the Crescent Guard is now down, Cube needs to find an angle with these needleworks. Monkey's getting low. Monkey's going down. Reset City for Junhao. Now he goes right back into Karis, who has nothing left to give, and Wako gets the kill.
So that's 2 for nothing there, and honestly, all off the back of Xiong, who just kind of melts Monkey as soon as that Crescent Guard wears off the Rumble, just kind of spit roasting and making sure that the Xin Zhao pays for his overzealous positioning. Really good stuff for Zhong, and great follow-up from the rest of Ultra Prime. A reminder that their composition is very high skill ceiling, but they can make it work. They're going to have a great time.
Seems like they're having a little bit of a party now. And with an interesting setup of composition, let's take a look at the combo Saber pulled off. Ooh, this
I think
is dicey.
This is skill order.
This is dicey.
Yeah, they get the Atacon. Can they get out?
They just get the GAs. They're trying to get out here now. They do indeed. So, hey, no issues here, I guess.
Nice and easy. Thank you very much. And I think that's the power that, I mean, the early fight got them. A couple of kills means that WE aren't particularly emboldened to try and aggress, but now I want to see what Ultra Prime end up doing with this. What can they get as an advantage, more so than anything else? Get another little glimpse at this Drake and at this fight that came afterwards. Monki, you know, well done. Get to smite in here very early from Junhao. But then as soon as the Crescent Guard wears off, look at how Zhong just turns around and decides, yeah, you're not allowed to be here. And the rest of the squad, oh, that's right. Yeah, he's not allowed to be here. Thank you.
He's not allowed to walk there. It's just not possible.
Exhaust used as well. Okay, Junhao.
You might be in a little bit of trouble. Monki wants to try to fight him on that 2 items. Now Weaver's wall coming across. Flash immediately from Xiaoxia. And now you have Taeyoon with the arcane shifts trying to put some damage in Wako. And now as well with these at least Atacon GAs, you can play so much more aggressively for these standing turrets on the map by Ultra Prime.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that it's the standing gold that they should be looking for, and it's also the use of this voracious Atacon that I'm sort of waiting to see. Just try and group up, try and find a fight, and make something happen, right? Worst case, you get withdrawn, lose 200 gold, but that's something that you're going to kind of need to try to play with if you want to try and take any form of objective. There we go.
Okay, they get Monki. So there you go. You get an objective. The objective was the kill. Oh, Saber. He gets the GA popped immediately, trying to get the kill. Taeyoon goes down to Wako. He's on fire now. He's got a couple kills. And all that early game struggle, all those problems, that coal finally paying off, and it's all the long game here for them. 3-0-3.
I said that there would be a timer for this Ezreal and the Karma's usefulness slowly dwindling away, where the Ezreal, the poke slowly not quite having that same impact, but Kai'Sa and Alistair, the team fight power that these two have, really starting to come to the forefold. And Ultra Prime, they struggled through the first few minutes of this game and through the bot lane specifically, but it's a great engage for Xiaoxia. Again, very simple, very traditional, through the front door, take down the jungler, makes the most sense, and that's exactly what they're able to do.
Oh, the double jump from Junhao and Wako to get over on a Taeyoon. That's this composition to a T if it's ahead. And they did get ahead. Now about 1.5 thousand gold lead for them. Not much to speak of here, 23 minutes in. And I will say that there is that ticking time of Taeyoon getting onto 3 items here very quickly that can enable WE.
Yeah, it's about how well the Ezreal dies if you're Ultra Prime, right? And I think that in fairness, they've got some very good dive tools to try and take out the Ezreal with Zed ulti, with Junhao as well, targeted point and click dash onto an Ezreal. Feels like there's a way to get there, but early equalizer onto Cube.
Okay, they got a little bit of damage on him. My God, Junhao on that Shojin spike.
Yeah, that's the power of exhaust there, because that was through exhaust, all of that damage, so... yeah, slightly scary to look at.
A little bit. It's almost like this champion is like really, really good. It's kind of crazy. Who'd have thunk it? There's another dragon coming up in sub 30 seconds right now, and all of Ultra Prime are already on the bot side of the map, so they're pre-positioned for this one. Baron really not going to be a play right now, but Ultra Prime might be looking at a turret before the dragon even kicks off.
Oh, I like this, especially since Cube is so low on HP. No needlework to try to clear the wave. Where is the answer from WE there?
Wow.
Maybe going to try to push in a mid-wave, but that's a big, big injection of gold given over to Ultra Prime, and they'll be able to pivot that, translate it back into a dragon, even those up 2-2. Saber's on his way down. Remember, no TP for the Zed means that he's got to sack a couple of waves to try to make himself available for any fights with the squad. Drake's already started up. No contest.
We were hesitant. Oh, they were so hesitant. Like they couldn't decide if they wanted to walk over or not. Decided in the end, I guess, to wait a little too long. Ultra Prime will even up that dragon score here. Don't know if they necessarily needed to fight it, as they will be closer to third items now.
I will say as well, really happy with how Ultra Prime have played this game as a team. Worth remembering that Xiaojia brought into this roster sort of probably under the guidance of Junhao.
Oh my god, that equalizer is massive. It's cooking him alive. Junhao goes untargetable. They found Vampire on the backline. They got one, and now the resets are coming through. They had the Hounds, and they unleashed them onto Team WE. Cube, the last remaining member in the fight, will go down to a double kill to his laning counterpart. And I don't know, maybe losing that 1v1 might just be destiny.
It's an incredible fight in the top side jungle. Ultra Prime punish the overzealous aggression of WE. They get the Baron as well. And this game, Mazel, in the space of probably the last 5 to 6 minutes, has just trickled into Ultra Prime's favour. It's Vampire again going for a ward that's just a little too deep. It's a seismic shove that doesn't quite connect onto Xiaojia. And they're immediately on the back foot, immediately getting chased out. After getting absolutely destroyed in the laning phase, Wako has ulted into 4 people with complete reckless abandon. And it's all because Cube isn't there with the squad. The TP comes in late, he TPs into die, and WE, again, just that page that they need to all be reading from is separated. They're not on the same wavelength and they can't find the fight.
The combination now in multiple fights of Junhao and Wako has been very fun to watch. I mean, they both dive in at the exact same time, and they're able to do so because of this communication here. Maybe they're about to do it right in front of us as they go in. Killer Instinct is available. He goes untargetable, but it's going to get away from that ground as Saber had taken down that outer turret here. Looking at a tier 2 now for Ultra Prime.
Okay. And once again, this time it's a lot of pretty colours but no kills, but it's going to be a massive swing for Ultra Prime to continue that momentum being pushed in their favour. Right now, Wako with an extra needlessly large rod on top of the upgraded W is going to work out incredibly well. It means that he can poke people off the turrets, it means that they can take this tier 2 down. Looking at mid lane as well, Junhao just buffing up one cannon minion, he can take that one down as well. It's all going well, I think.
Yeah, I say so. If you're Ultra Prime, almost 3 items on everybody now. Young's gonna be there close, and they're just gonna. Oh no! Salcia trying to combine with his old BLG Juniors teammate Junhao. Unfortunately, not able to hit the combo, but they still do have presence and pressure down here in WE's side of the jungle. It gets a little bit worse for wear, but they're waiting for the pushes in these lanes.
Yeah, a little bit of a missed combo from Xiaojia there. You have to flash off of the Unraveled Earth. That's why that combo didn't quite work out, because as soon as he starts dashing, he stuns himself and can't input the headbutt to knock up the target that he's looking for. But even still, Ultra Prime, you can see they're getting a little bit aggressive now. They're 9k gold to the goods, 28 minutes in, and it looks like they're going to secure themselves that spot in the best of 3. And for WE as well, that's a real kicker. They're going to have to try and take down LGD, which I do think is a pretty tricky matchup for anybody in this bracket. So certainly going to have their work cut out tomorrow when that one ends up coming to fruition. But for Ultra Prime right now, job should just be to take down this dragon. You know, you've got 3 turrets still to break open. The key ones really to try and break open that base. But without the Baron, I can see this game starting to stagnate a little bit, Mazel.
I can indeed, and might work out for WE to some extent, but I don't know if it's going to be enough here. It is 1-11, by the way. Just slowly but surely. I mean, we had like, what, 2 kills in like 17 minutes or something, but then Ultra Prime definitely taking the momentum here in the game. Off the back of a composition that we still had question marks coming out of the draft, but if they had gotten that kind of hold on the map itself, it could work out, and we're seeing the fruits of their labors. I mean, the Zed pick alone was a scratcher for me, but hey, if you come away with a win, and right now almost everybody's unkilled, it's feeling good.
Yeah, I mean, you'll take it, right? Even if you've gone for this slightly off-piste meta pick, it's worked out, to be honest. Saber found a solo kill in the top side, had been constantly forcing Karis back, and the idea that you've now got this answer to Talia, who is such a staple pick in the meta as well, certainly something that will need to be respected for teams going forward.
And we get those dragons starting to finish up here. And there you go. See Ultra Prime 12th is Ultra Prime's highest ever LPL finish since they entered the league in 2021. It's been a lot of years since then, but maybe they can make that push. Maybe they can make a little miracle happen here and get into that group ascend after facing off against FPX in that next best 3 if they can finish out here.
Yeah, that automatically gives them a 10th place finish just as a top 10 go into the Ascent group. So it's a big win for them if they can make it again. Big if. They've still got a lot of work to do so far. And if they can make that final push in the match, presumably that they will have to play after this, will be their best finish since their entrance to the LPL. And it's a lot of dotting I's, crossing T's. Again, they've got a decent advantage in this game. Junhao's had one heck of a performance. Wako's had a very good recovery. But for WE as well, the stars that we were looking for, Taeyoon getting all of that gold early on, having that early advantage, not quite being able to hammer it home, not being able to really do anything with that gold, let's be honest. As they move now through and into.
Oh, I am still here. Apologies. Yeah, what I was just saying is it just feels bad whenever he had like 10 CS a minute over Wako, and he had that much difference in the early parts of the game. But now it is the difference between a Kaisa and an Ezreal. You're still really waiting on those spikes, but you just have so much upfront damage as the Kaisa. Now Junhao.
They know that he's
has
here.
Been spotted out.
Zooming.
Yeah, they are zooming. They know. They know. They know. Wind becomes lightning, but it's not enough. Seismic shot. Oh, he gets out the untargetable.
Yes.
Easy does it. Now Ultra Prime have surrounded WE. Do they have a way out of here?
Well, Xiong wants this. I'm not sure the rest of Ultra Prime are fully committed to this, but
dude, the flashes, the dashes. Monki said, let's fight on Xiong. The rest of Ultra Prime here to try to back him off. Big equalizer, but Xiong's already down. Nice knockups. Headbutt into the rest of the team, and Monki's going to join him in the dirt. Void Seeker coming across, but Ultra Prime will back away now.
I mean, honestly, for WE, that's not bad. I think you take the trade of jungle for top lane. Keeping Xiong off the map for a little bit longer is quite valuable. There's no neutral objectives up to particularly... Oh, never mind. The Baron's up, which could be pretty dangerous. So there is actually going to be that window where the TP is available for Xiong, and maybe Ultra Prime are going to look to take that. Maybe they're going to look to take the Baron off the back of this.
Now we actually get pretty well start of the Baron right now.
I mean, the fight should be good for WE here. They have better...
It could be.
All
they
three
burn
solos.
it so fast. I don't know. It's already going down. WE have had this hesitancy of them in multiple objectives in this game so far. Just hesitancy to make the move, hesitancy to make the call, and now that hesitancy might just come back to rear and bite them as Saber looking for an angle on the side. Junhao connects on a Cube. Cube has no escape. Them dogs do bite. And they bite hard. He's got the reset. He's got the untargetable. He's got them darkened daggers. And that's going to be Saber picking up another one. They get onto Monki. Monki's all by himself. And just like that, WE is gone off the map. No, Vampire's still alive. Void Seeker. It's not enough. There's still one left. It's Vampire, the only saving grace of Ultra Prime. But Ultra Prime on the verge of getting to that best of 3 in the upper bracket.
Baron at their backs, 30 seconds on the death time as Mazel. Ultra Prime have done it. The best of 1 goes their way.
They'll be able to knock Vampire out of the game one more time before they do it as well. And we have a date with Destiny between FPX and Ultra Prime to see who'll be the first ones to book that spot in Group Ascend.
A best of 3 between those two should be delivering FPX off the back of a slightly upset victory versus LDG and in a good run of form, taking a game up against NIP yesterday. Ultra Prime here with a composition that had a couple of head scratches, right? Zed gets locked in, Neferi for the jungler. Maybe that's a little bit too OP a pick to be losing quite that easily, but the Zed getting picked up for Saber certainly had a really good showing. Maybe not the explosive team fight that we were hoping for, but the side lane control, I think, largely in his favor.
First competitive Zed for the guy, but like it's not in his Leaguepedia at least. that's what I'll give. And that's awesome to see in a pivotal moment when you know you want to win the game to go with that. And it was literally just the full like assassin composition, right? You had the Kaisa diving in, you had the Neferi. It's so fun to see these kinds of compositions be a staple now in the league meta.
Yeah, and I think that's the power that you get with just being able to run some best of ones, is that you can just go, okay, we're doing full dive today, and that's the strat that we're going for, right? And I mean, I'm sat here saying we should be banning Kai'Sa or taking it away from them when they're picking all of this dive. Like, teams have to know that this is the dive AD carry, the quintessential dive AD carry. If you take Kai'Sa away, your next best bet is like a Tristana or a Samira, and again, the drop-off is just night and day. And you do have to wonder, like, how is Wako able to get that? Maybe it's an ego thing of, you know, Vampire and Taeyoon going, we'll pick Israel Karma if they pick Kai'Sa.
Things were going good for them.
Yeah.
They were, like, winning so hard. He had so much more gold than he had. It's just incredible how it all works out. I guess that's the power of what Kai'Sa can bring to a composition that enables it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And it's what happens when a synergy, an AD carry synergizes with the composition, right? Like, it didn't matter that she was so far behind, because eventually she could just hop on whatever the Alistar knocked up, along with the damage that had come through from a Zed or a Neferi, and find a couple of kills, and those couple of kills immediately offset the 15 minutes of hardship that she had to go through. She's right back in the game.
Yep. And we saw what happened. Like, literally, the timing on the Killer Instincts was so perfect so many times to join right at the right moment to kind of enable the Neferi as well. This is a good showing from Ultra Prime. Was this kind of to your expectations when we came into the day? This is the Ultra Prime we wanted to see?
It is. Now, Ultra Prime as an organization have proven to be flippy-floppy, let's say, right? We saw...
Fickle.
We've seen their previous results where since they entered the league, finished no better than 12th. But this is a new Ultra Prime. This is a rejuvenated roster with different pieces from different areas of the world. And I think that Wako in particular, I mean, internationally, we've seen him tear it up on the Kai'Sa before. So getting it in the LPL, it is no surprise, really, that he's able to deliver and able to perform. And to my expectations, I would say absolutely.
Are we as care now thinking about the Zed pick in mid lane and figure out what we're gonna do?
I think we're thinking don't blind pick Talia, or if we're gonna set up for Talia, we'll throw a Zed ban in there.
Dude, it's like going down on a deep dive here. You start up above the water and then you just go down, down, down. 1,000 leagues under the sea there. It's an old reference. 100% KP there for Taeyoon, but unfortunately it did not matter. No matter how much spotlight we wanted to put on this guy, it was the spotlight deserved by Ultra Prime as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, Cube got given a lot of resources earlier, right, with those two turrets in the side lanes getting given over, and then the damage percentage again just, you know, not really being as high as you might have liked given the amount of gold and the amount of input that we gave over to the Gwen. But you do get to see that there was bright spots once again for WE. It's one of these games, and I feel like a bit of a tradition that I've had with them is that they are doing well in the early stages of the game, but then they're just not quite sure what or how they need to transition that and how to push their advantage more than anything.
Well, W are going to have to learn that lesson the hard way. They got another best of 3 coming up for them in that lower bracket. With the other side of things in LGD, that's not going to be fun at all.
It's not going to be easy, but at the end of the day, right, if you want to be in the Ascend group, you're going to have to be, you know, at least LGD, and then obviously some form of best of 3 versus either FPX or Ultra Prime a little bit later on. So it's a hard road for WE. They may get a chance at redemption. They may bomb out immediately. The options are there, so we'll find out.
They are indeed. I think there's a lot to learn. Again, I go back to the statement that I said earlier, I think in the first best of 1, where it's like, even if these games sometimes feel a little bit one-sided in the end, like, it's still the fact that players are getting more experience, getting more games under their belt, and having these kinds of extended experience to lean on going forward in the rest of the year.
Yeah, because we've been in positions before where you finish top, or you don't finish top 2, and that's just the rest of your split done, right? And that's, you know, quite disappointing sometimes.
Yeah.
But being able to have these third place games and then being able to play in placements as well, having a little bit of best of 3. Any practice is good practice. I don't care what people say. Like, getting the opportunity to play actual stage games is genuinely valuable. Even if you get absolutely owned, it's good to be able to look back at what the enemy team is doing so well that you can look to try and either not do again or try and harness some of that as well.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is like what lessons can be used to move forward. Now, who do we think MVP is for this one, for this Ultra Prime squad?
People have been really on the Neferi train, and I could see it going to Junhao, to be honest.
Let's see.
We'll see. Yeah.
It is Junhao. 4-0-10 on the Neferi. Really good counter engages to what Monki was throwing at him.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that this could have gone to numerous places, to be honest. This felt like a largely team-centric effort for Ultra Prime. It wasn't just Junhao like carrying the team up by the bootstraps, carrying them over the finish line, right? Like 4-0-10, you can see he's got 10 assists. He's doing well.
Not bad. Not bad. That is it for our best of ones on the day. That means we're transitioning over to best of threes. We're going to get to see FPX versus Ultra Prime for that first spot locked into the group ascent here in the group qualifier setup. That here is LPL split number 2. I will be back. Rood will be back. We'll just be taking a little break, and we'll see you for that best of 3 on the other side.